Air Force test pilots epitomize bravery and the right stuff. They fearlessly risk it all as they push the boundaries of aviation, navigating perilous skies to advance the leading edge of flight technology. Clair Carling was one of the best, and his accomplishments helped lay the groundwork for major breakthroughs in space exploration and aerospace technology. Born on December 27, 1938, in Logan, Utah, Carling grew up in Salt Lake City and spent an idyllic childhood, camping, fishing, and working on his grandfather's farm. A student at South High School, Carling excelled in both academics and athletics, becoming valedictorian of his graduating class in 1957. Carling was offered a full academic scholarship to Yale University, but dreamed of becoming a pilot. At the very last minute, he received word of his acceptance into the brand new Air Force Academy in Colorado.
After several days of agonizing over it, I made the decision to accept the Air Force Academy appointment and turn down the Yale scholarship. The decision was more gut feel than it was logical. I wanted to fly jets.
Carling thrived at the Air Force Academy, graduating in the top 5 of his class. The drive and determination that propelled him to stratospheric heights was already apparent. In 1963, the Vietnam War was heating up, and Carling was deployed to Southeast Asia. He flew combat missions over Vietnam, Cambodia, Thailand, and Laos in his F-102 Delta Dagger.
At about 3 a.m. on the morning of August 5, 1964, I was awakened at home by the air police and told to report to the squadron immediately. We had a red alert call directing us to deploy to Da Nang, Vietnam as quickly as possible. The North Vietnamese had attacked one of our small ships in the Gulf of Tonkin.
Following his time flying the F-102, Captain Carling was offered a chance to fly the plane of his dreams.
It was every pilot's dream to fly the F-104 Starfighter. It was the Air Force's first Mach 2 Plus fighter. This was a huge source of pride and excitement for me. Were it not for the F-104, I might have elected to end my Air Force career in 1965 and go with the airlines. For a number of years, I had the dream of becoming a test pilot and hopefully an astronaut. During the mid-60s, the astronaut program was an exciting and glamorous goal for me. I was 27 years old when I applied to the Aerospace Research Pilot School at Edwards Air Force Base. I was honored as the top ARPS graduate and received the Latham Tittle Award and Trophy.
In the early 1960s, the Air Force needed a way to demonstrate flight at the very edge of space. They drastically modified the F-104 Starfighter into the experimental NF-104. Only 3 of these risky experimental aircraft were built, which were designed to fly well over 100,000 feet in altitude.
Being selected as one of 3 pilots to fly, test, and train others in the NF-104 was a highlight of my career. It was equipped with a rocket engine propulsion system and a reaction jet system to control the plane in space.
Carling was one of the first test pilots trained to fly to the edge of space. Another pilot in the program was the famous test pilot Chuck Yeager. The first NF-104 achieved an altitude record, but was destroyed when the experimental rocket system suffered an explosion. Fortunately, the pilot was able to land safely. Another aircraft flown by Chuck Yeager suffered an unrecoverable flat spin, forcing Yeager to eject while he watched his unmanned jet plunge to Earth. This event was depicted in the movie The Right Stuff. However, Carling's mission was a success. He achieved the goals of the test program and helped demonstrate the effectiveness of a future spaceplane. Carling retired from the Air Force at the rank of colonel and transitioned to the private sector, where he made substantial contributions to the development of the GPS system and data link programs utilized in the U-2, Global Hawk, and Predator programs. Whether as a program manager, a test pilot, or flying fighters over Vietnam, Clair Carling had aviation in his blood and determination in his bones. He described the ecstasy of flight following a solo trip in the brand new F-15 fighter, for which he was the director of testing and evaluation. There could be no greater remembrance of a life consumed by the love of flight.
I slam the throttles to maximum afterburner on takeoff. The acceleration presses me firmly against the back of the seat. Almost instantly, I'm airborne. Raising the gear, rotating the nose to near straight-up vertical flight. I'm suddenly out of the world into the quiet expanse of sky. To me, it is a peaceful, friendly place where I have complete freedom. A bit closer to heaven, if you will. Until recently, I didn't realize how much flying has meant to me in my life. It has definitely been one of the strongest influences in my thoughts, actions, perceptions, and even personality. The jet fighter flying blood never leaves.